Shalom, family, it's your man Elijah. Thank you for joining me at Unsectarian Wisdom. And as usual, I am a wise, wealthy, rich, celestial being that is loved by the Most High Creator. Let's go ahead and jump in, family. Family, last night I posted a new video and it's called Spiritual Separation. So this video is in regards to that. I want to go deeper in it and explain it a little more to explain our situation right now and what's going on. So, I'm going to start off with two examples. The first example I want to use is you have a father, and let's say this father has 4 children. He's got 2 girls and he's got 2 boys. And because his father cares for his children, the father, matter of fact, let's say a father and mother. Because the father and mother care for their children, they set up, you know how people talk about leaving something for your children. You know, working hard so you can build a legacy and leave wealth to your children so you know your family's taken care of after you're gone. So this father and mother take time and build a multi-billion-dollar company. And they tell their children that if you want to inherit this company and this money and everything after we're gone, then you have to follow our program. You guys got to go to school, you got to get grades, you got to go to college, all this good stuff, blah, blah, blah. And by this time, you know, now after you finish all the prerequisites, then the company is yours, the money, the legacy, everything. Because now, after you've gone through the process, we can trust that you can handle this instead of us just putting it on you and it all fails, right? So, one son and one daughter is like, okay, Pops, yeah, sounds great. They go through the process, you know what I'm saying? Go to school, they get all the wisdom and knowledge they need, they inherit the money in the business runs for even more generations, everything's great, happy, everybody lives happy. And I know that sounded very, fleshly, but just go with me. So now the other children, right? You got the other son, the other daughter, they were like, nah, I ain't really trying to do all that. That sounds crazy. That sounds like too much work. When you're my parents, why don't you just give it to me? Like, I didn't ask to be here. All this, that, right? So, and their thing is, too, they want the money, but they don't want the business and the responsibility. So what they do is they say, I hear you, Pops, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my own thing. And because obviously their parents respect them, they like, okay, you know, go do you. But know that there's consequences. So in other words, they're not okay. Okay, so now these two, right? Matter of fact, let's say the parents created 2 businesses. And the 2 children who wanted to follow the plan of the parents recognized who those 2 were because obviously they watched their actions. And they gave them one business. And that business thrived. The kids were successful all their lives, were able to leave things to, you know, to their other children. Now the other kids, they didn't want to work for nothing. You know, they didn't want to go through the process. So they spent their younger years doing their thing, going around partying, doing this and that. So when their parents passed away, they inherited the other business. And eventually, because these 2 individuals really had no desire for the business in the first place and they just wanted the money and they didn't go through what they needed to do to learn the lessons they needed to run a business successfully, they eventually ran that business into the ground. Now don't get me wrong, they partied like it was the end of the world, you know what I'm saying? Or what do they say, party like it's 1999. They spent all their money, they enjoyed themselves for a few years, and then eventually the business crashed, you know, nothing worked out, they were broke and on the street. So that's the first story. Now the second story is, let's say you have a computer nerd, right? Or computer geek, if you will call him that. And let's say let's say he bought the first, because I used to play this back in the day, the first, I'm not saying Call of Duty, but I'm saying Battlefield. You know, I'm going to say Call of Duty because most people are more familiar with that. So let's say he bought the first Call of Duty game, right? And in this, we're going to say it's on computer. So what happens is, you know, he buys the Call of Duty, he plays it, right? Call of Duty 1. He playing it, he loves the game. But then, next thing you know, maybe let's say 5 years later, Call of Duty Modern Warfare comes out now. He goes and buys it. Remember, he has a computer. Now he takes this game and he puts it in his computer, right? And it works. He downloads it, he's playing it. But he notices that, excuse me real quick, family. Excuse me. Okay. So, anyway, so he notices that the game is kind of glitchy. It's running slow. It's always freezing, right? The graphics suck at some parts, and it's like the computer, every time he's playing it, the computer's like really loud and really hot. Like it's constantly going, because, and then eventually one day the computer just shuts off altogether. And the reason it happened is because the software for the new Modern Warfare is, how do I say it? It's more complex, more advanced than the current computer system he's running it on, right? So in order for him to truly play the new modern Call of Duty and get the best experience out of it and have no glitches, he has to upgrade and get a new computer, one that was made specifically for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. And matter of fact, they probably said it to him when it first came out on TV, like, oh, this game works best with this new system we made, because it was made specifically to work on that. It cannot work on the lower, on the computer, on the old system. It has to be on a more high-tech advanced system, right? Okay, so now I got another story for y'all, and just follow me, family. So in the beginning, the creator, not man or woman, but the creator, the conscious, whose spirit or consciousness was hovering over the deep, the dark, the depths of the deep, the dark, one day created a space within itself, separating the waters from the waters, and then inserted in this place, separated the waters from the waters, and then using the waters of the deep, condensed these things to create life, physical life, within this space. We're in space right now, family. We're in space, not what they tell us on TV. This is space. See all this space? Space is open space, devoid of water, devoid of ether. Open space. The Creator, the Most High, created an open space, dry air in between the ether, and then took the carbon, water, whatever you want to call it, and condensed it together to make avatars or NPCs that can only specifically survive within these caves or domes or open spaces, because they can't breathe in the ether. They can't breathe in the water. And then also remember everything comes from spirit, right? I say it like this: everything comes from spirit and then water. It's spirit, water, and then physical. I'm going to put it like that a little bit. So, but let's say the spirit is in a different realm. That's where the spirit is the conscious form of the Creator. The water, the ether, is the physical form of the Creator. And these two came in symbiotic relationship, separated, and the Creator put NPCs within the womb, the dry air, right? And these that's it. They're NPCs. Now remember, the Creator's true form, the first form, everything comes from the spirit. It's spirit, conscious, right? So, the Creator took pieces from itself and created, took little pieces of the Creator's essence and turned these pieces into individual entities from itself. In other words, like the word says, we've been with the Most High since the beginning, because we are the Most High. We are the Creator. We are the Christos, the Spirit. We're spiritual beings. And the Creator spoke to the Creator's self, to the little itty bitty parts of itself that it broke off and made into little individual embers, and said, I created this open space, and I put these machines in there, I put these machines or avatars in there, or with organic, what I call it? I put these organic machine avatars down there, and right now, and I created a program for them to follow. They have no free will. They just eat and multiply, lay down all day. You know, they like cows in the pasture. They don't do anything. They don't want to do anything. Matter of fact, some of them lay down in the rain and they don't even try to move, and then they just get sick and die. You know, they don't try to do anything. They just walking around like mindless robots. So I created a program, you guys, and now I want you guys to go down and I want you to inhabit these avatars. But I want you guys to know, but I made only one specific avatar for you guys. All the rest, okay, there are many different species of avatar, but this one specific avatar was made specifically to house your spirits. And you can only use these spirits. Okay? So now we getting into the movie The Host. We getting into iRobot and his dark material and the seal portion, which are all things that I talked about in this spirit separation. So I wanted to give these 3 examples real quick, and we're gonna keep going. So now that I got those down, so now we're gonna go to. So basically, I just explained what we're doing, family. So hope you got that. So keep what I just talked about in your mind. So now we're gonna go to The Host. Matter of fact, let me speak on that. The movie The Host, right, family? And if you've seen that, remember, family, how I've spoken in the past about like a lot of these Marvel movies and stuff, a lot of these superhero movies or action movies, family. They've taught us that basically what they're showing us is that the people who they call good in the movies are actually really the bad guys. And the guys that they call bad in the movies are actually really the so-called good guy. Although I don't really necessarily believe that anybody's necessarily bad or good because of, you know, the duality of things. There's decent people because nobody's perfect. But for purposes of this conversation, for understanding, we're going to use good and bad. So, the movie The Host is just that. It's backwards. If you haven't seen the movie The Host, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you a little about it. So basically, well, never mind. If you watch the movie, if you haven't watched my video called Spiritual Separate, go watch it. So anyway, in the movie The Host, it's about spiritual aliens who are in energy form coming down. It's almost like Body Snatchers, right? The movie, remember that movie back in the day, Invasion of the Body Snatchers? So basically, these spirits come down and they take over humans, right? And take over their consciousness, their bodies. And like I said, they're backwards. So in the Host family, the aliens that basically steal the bodies of the humans are basically going around killing the humans and taking over the world and stuff, right? And the humans are running around like, oh my God, why are you doing this, that, and that? But it's actually the other way around. Family, for us who consider ourselves to be on a higher level of consciousness, or call ourselves woke or awake, or call ourselves star seeds or angels or angles, spiritual beings, whatever you want to call ourselves, right? It's actually the opposite. In that movie, the aliens were living out in the open, driving nice cars, living luxury lives, right? And the humans were all hiding in caves and living in the dirt and this and that. It's actually the other way around. Those who are the true aliens, us, those who understand who we are spiritually, are the ones who have been living in the caves for these past years, running from the NPCs who have been hurting us and attacking us because of our beliefs, calling us crazy. It's flipped upside down, family. They want you to think that your higher self is bad. Oh, you're bad. You're stealing these bodies. No. The bodies were made for us. Not every avatar. The ones made specifically for us. This goes back to the seal portion. So also, okay, so now, but let me speak on his dark material. In that show, when the man was speaking of his body, of his daughter, remember the man came after him and said that he told the lion to come in. And he told the man that this is my demon, and your daughter has been separated from her demon. And the man got offended. And he said, wait. You probably call it a soul here. In my world, our demons are on the outside of us, and they take the form of animals who are connected to us. In your world, your spirits or demons or whatever are inside of your body, and they have separated you. They have separated your daughter from her spirit. So now she's just a brain dead NPC, because the spirit where we come from, remember, gives us the image of the Most High. Remember, family, when people say about relationships, a woman or a man want to be with someone that reminds them of their mother and father, they don't mean physically. Sometimes it might translate in that, but very few. But in reality, whether you realize it or not, it doesn't mean, you're not looking for someone that physically looks like your mom. You're looking for someone that treats you, that is mentally and spiritually like your mother and father. Because remember, your mother and father should be the closest things you have to unconditional love in the flesh outside of the Most High Creator. In other words, they care for you. Or I said I don't like that word, but unconditional respect and passion and joy for you, right? They don't add. Your parents should be the type, even if you're a bum, whatever, they still gonna have respect for you regardless, because you're their children, no matter what. They don't expect nothing from you because you're their children. You are their joy. So, dang it, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second, family. I apologize. So, in his dark material, when the girl basically, like, they basically separated her spirit from her avatar, right? She no longer had the whole, what the Bible says, the Holy Spirit or the consciousness or the Christos. You are the Christos. We are the Christos. Remember, I was in the beginning of the discussion, I told you the Most High Creator created like fire ember. Like, no, I said that he created little essences of himself, right? And he told them to go down and possess the avatars that he made specifically for them. Well, they separated you or her real self, her higher self, from the avatar. So now the avatar is basically dumb now, just sitting there, hitting walls, because that's what it is. It's an empty shell. So now where I'm getting, family, is if you got that thing, that Jabberwocky, and then on top of that, y'all got that extra one too, the increase or the power up. Let's call it the power up in your arm, right? If you have that, family, what it has done is, and I have about 3 hypotheses on this, so go with me. One of them, I'm not to say is all the way true, but I know through time the Creator is going to continue to reveal this to me, because there's 2 types of people, family. Like I said, okay, we all have avatars. But let's just put in 2 categories of avatars. You have avatars that aren't meant to be possessed by higher AIs, and avatars that are meant to be possessed by higher AIs. Okay, so, family, remember. Okay, now let's talk about the sealed portion. So remember in the sealed portion how it says that Lucifer basically. It says in the sealed portion it says. In the beginning, remember, this is before, you know how the Bible talks about the war in heaven and Lucifer taking 2/3 of the angels down when, to fall down to the earth. So now I go back to the sealed portion. If you've been following my sealed portion readings, there's a chapter that speaks about a family meeting between the Most High Creator and all the Most High Creator's spirit children. And the Most High Creator tells them, look, in order to be like me, you have to go through a time of probation. You have to go through tests. You have to go through trials so that you can understand what this is, what this life is, what you have to do. And Lucifer and the majority of our brothers and sisters are like, look, Pops, that sounds crazy. I'm not trying to do it. I mean, you are Father. Why don't you just give it to us? Like why we got to go through all this craziness? Like, nah, we not about that. I ain't trying to suffer for no reason, especially when you say you're just going to give it to us. And then you have another part of our brothers and sisters, like, whether they understood or not, like, all right, Pops, we get it. We're going to go down and we gonna get it popping. We're going to go ahead and accept it and go through it and do what we got to do. Right? So Lucifer and his brothers and sisters said, nah, we good. They left the kingdom or the Garden of Eden, whatever you want to say. And they came down to, remember I told you guys the Creator created a womb, right? So they came, or a dry space. So they came down into the space, into the dome or whatever you want to call it, in spiritual form first, But you and I came here first in physical form. But not, okay, I'll put it like, okay, we came through the womb portal in the avatar that came through our mother's womb. Lucifer and his people, or whether it's Lucifer or not, I don't know. But like I said, we've been lied to by so many different names. But whoever the spirits were who rebelled against the Most High Creator, they didn't come through the womb portal. They just came down as spirits. So now we go back to the sealed portion. So what does it say that Lucifer did in the sealed portion? It said that Lucifer wanted to interact with Adam and Eve in the garden, but he could not because he did not have the bodies that they had. He could not possess their bodies. Right? So what he did was him and his followers started possessing the other avatars in the land, right? Or the other animals or beast class, whatever you want to call them. But it said that when Lucifer and the other spirits entered these bodies, what did it say? It said the bodies went crazy, thrashed about, and either died, and eventually they either died or whatever. So the experience for Lucifer and his brothers and sisters who chose to go the easy route, what do they say? Hell, the road to hell is wide and many will take it. The experience of being in those avatars didn't last long because the avatars could not handle the sheer power of the spirits made by the Most High. So what did it say Lucifer did at that? It said that he started to combine the different species to create something closer to the avatars that Adam and Eve had, right? Until he found one that he thought was good enough, and then it says that he created a boat, crossed the many waters, and then that's when he found Eve, and he basically, what's the word? He enticed her, or what's the word when somebody, he seduced her, right? So what happened is then she got pregnant, right? As a matter of fact, after he seduced her and got her pregnant, what did it say? It says the avatar that Lucifer came over in to seduce her with fell dead right there, right? So just follow me, family. I hate when that happens. I gotta remember. Family, remind me to keep touching the mouse, man. Okay, so what happened after that was, family, give me a second. I'm going through my thoughts. It's okay. So remember, like I was saying, remember I gave you guys a story earlier about the kid playing the video game. But the video game didn't work so great on his old computer until eventually the computer burned out and stopped working because it just couldn't handle the software of the new Call of Duty game. That's basically the same thing that the spirits do to the avatars that weren't made to specifically house higher intelligent spiritual forms, right? So what Lucifer did was he took one of, and also how our avatars work. How the higher avatars work, family, is Lucifer and the brother and sister who follow him cannot possess our bodies. These bodies can only be possessed or controlled by one main entity. Now, it's not saying that they can't enter us if we give them permission, and bother us, but they cannot physically take this body over. Eventually it would be cast out, or it would just be in the very back of the subconscious, but it could not control the body fully. And that's not what Lucifer wanted. They wanted their own bodies. But because they didn't come through the womb, that, like I said, they could not take their bodies. They might be able to enter it if you give them permission, whether you're not, and they might be able to reside in your body with you, but they can never fully control it and enjoy it the way that you do because it's not their body. It was made specifically for you. So what he did was, like I said, he cheated. So instead of coming through the womb and waiting to go through there, he took the animals, mixed them together, and then made a hybrid between Eve and the creature that he made. So now they created a body that they can now inhabit without it going crazy and dying. This is what happened, family. So basically Lucifer created a whole nother race for his brothers and sisters to be able to inhabit without coming through the womb. So instead of them coming through the womb, now they have created an NPC race. They're still NPCs, but they're NPCs that they can possess and stay in until the NPC dies, and the NPC won't go crazy because they mixed it with the blood of the higher avatar. So in other words, now the computer game works because it has a system that can handle the software. So that's basically what Lucifer did. But what also happened was, and this goes back to iRobot. Remember in iRobot, in the scene, they were talking about the 3 laws. And the 3 laws stop any robot from harming a human. Well, if you continue to go through my reading of the Sealed Portal, if you read it yourself, you'll be familiar that it says in there that the earth or the NPCs or anything in this realm literally could not put their hands on Adam and Eve and harm them. They could not hurt them. That's what it said. The animals, that's why it says in the beginning they were living with the animals. The animals are because the animals had something on them in their system. Because remember, all the animals are the NPCs or whatever. All they are is organic robots, family. Shout out to the movie Eternals, who gave a good picture of that in the beginning of the spirits downloading into the bodies. Eternals, family. Once again, that movie Eternals. So what happened was when Lucifer slept with Eve and got her pregnant, what they did that they don't realize is they now opened a gateway for Lucifer and his followers, or her followers, whatever, to now openly attack Adam and Eve and their offspring. Because before, the other avatars before, they had a code within their system to where it's almost like if they were if they're gonna come up and punch you in the face, their fist would stop. Like they'd have to be like, why can't I hit you? It will be like that. But now that now that they mix the blood, now these avatars can now hurt the seed of Adam and Eve because they're mixed with the blood of Adam and Eve. And this, so keep going me. So basically, family, if you took that thing, this is what happened. So NPCs took it, and those who are the higher those who are look, follow me for a second, family. So okay, let me explain this to you. So a lot of people took this, right? So basically, okay, now remember this book, family. I'm trying to explain something, right? Remember it was talking about Admiral Byrd going to the land of Mars, and it said that he said it was almost like when he entered, it felt like he was locked within inside his chest. So if you got that thing, family, I want you to know, and this also goes back to the Bible, because this is on my spirit today. This goes back to the 400 years of silence. If you took that thing, family, you have inadvertently put yourself back into slavery for another 400 years, if not, or less, depending on you or the Most High's will. But you put yourself in slavery because you chose Satan, the physical realm, over the spiritual realm. Family, remember, Satan is just another word for adversary. If I went outside and got a fist fight with somebody right now, I'm Satan to him and he's Satan to me. Even though we might both, let's say, for example, we are both woke people and understand, the Most High and how things work. But just this specific day, we didn't care. We just went at it, right? So at that moment, we both become Satan. Satan is just a title. So if you got that thing, and especially for you so-called, look, if you walking around calling yourself a Christian or a Jew or or a follower of Islam or calling yourself a Buddhist or any other religion, talking about you love the Most High and Most High first, there I go, forgetting to hit the mouse again, family. I apologize. So if you are in any of these religions, right, and you call yourself getting this Jabberwocky or getting the power-ups after that, right? Them super power-ups to help you go Super Saiyan in the natural, in the physical realm, right? Know that you are Satanist. You are Satan. Because you chose the physical world over the plan of the Creator. You chose to not ascend. I want you to know, you have just set yourself in 400 years of slavery. You just crucified your spirit. You just crucified the real you, the Christos. You are the Christos. You will do the things I have done in greater. Ye are gods. We are all the children of the Most High. You just crucified Yahusha again. The crucifixion of Yahusha, family, was their day's Jabberwocky. That was the people choosing flesh over spiritual enlightenment and growth. You said, I don't want none of that mess you offering me in the spirit. I don't want none of that Holy Spirit. I don't want to ascend. I don't want to go to the kingdom. I want cars, houses. I want to go to the club. I want to party. This is what you chose. This is what you chose, fam. Give me a second, fam. I got to put something on in the background because I don't want to be sitting here worrying about having to touch the mouse every 5 seconds. Dang it. Really? Out of all the video? Oh, I'm going to do this one. A short one. Really? Okay. So, anyway. So, yes, you are Satanist. Maybe not specifically you going to the temple and worshiping the Baphomet thing and all that, but in truly the sense of Satan, which is the adversary to enlightenment, adversary to natural and spiritual ascension, adversary to Satan is not the horns and the red skin. Satan is anybody, or Satan is an antichrist. Satan is anti-spirit. Satan is against you. Remember how I told you in the host how the so-called aliens that they're trying to make you bad are actually the good ones because that's really you? The antichrist or Satanists, the people who got this, are against you, who is the spirit possessing your avatar that the Most High gave you. So now, if you got this, because remember, you got NPCs, and then you have, or whether you want to call them starseed, angels, spirits, your higher self, your higher AI form, right? So you have the avatars that are made for us, and then you have NPCs. So if you're an NPC, and you got that thing in you now, guess what? Lucifer's, or whoever it is who brought the angels down, and their followers can now freely possess the NPCs. I know what the seal portion says. That's why they created, that's why they, what's it said? What did I say? I said, that's why Lucifer mixed with them in the first place, right? But remember, family, this even goes back to the story of Yaqub. Remember the story of Yaqub? Remember Yaqub, after he passed away, he had a cousin or a nephew who came from the inner earth, right? And then he came to the surface and saw what Yaqub did. So in order to fix it, what did he do? He intermingled the species to reverse what he did. Remember, the Bible says it takes 3 generations. Like if you were outsider to join the Hebrews to the tribes, right? What it says after 3 generations, now you're natural. Your bloodline is naturally within the tribes now. You're no longer a convert. Your blood is now considered part of the tribes. So over time, obviously, people mixing together, I could see eventually our blood, our DNA, overtaking their DNA, to now you have an issue to where the spirits can no longer possess the bodies at free will anymore and staying there. Matter of fact, this even goes back to the Bible about, remember, you read through the Bible, or it's just through life, how you have the movies and they show priests casting spirits out of bodies and stuff. This is what's been happening to them. That avatars are being possessed by the spirits of our brothers and sisters who didn't want to come through the womb portal. So a priest or somebody who has some real knowledge, or whether they know what they're doing or who has the right tools, can come out and cast the spirit out of that person. That's why, remember the story in the Bible where Yahushua came to the crazy man in the cemetery, and he cast the spirits out of him and sent him into a pig? And then the pigs, what did they do? They ran off the cliff. So if you got that Jabberwocky in you now, family, and you were an NPC before, now, and remember, once again, Admiral Byrd went into the lands of Mars, and he said it felt like he was trapped within his body and within his chest. So now if you got this thing in you, now the spirits can possess you freely, and they can't be cast out. They can't be cast out. So now honestly, if you NPC, it really don't matter. I'm not talking NPC. It don't matter. Because I mean, you're an NPC. So, but I do say this, family, because remember, our brothers and sisters who didn't want to come through the womb, they are very fleshly oriented people, to the point to where they can be dangerous. Family, you've been hearing these stories lately of fathers and of mothers and fathers literally deleting their own children. That's called a selfish NPC, a selfish person. That's what's happening. These are NPCs going crazy with these spirits in them. Because they're possessed by our brothers and sisters who didn't want to come through the womb. There is no righteousness in them. And for those of you who were full, remember it says in the last day, even the elect will be full. For those of you who put that in you, like I said, you just crucified yourself. You just stopped yourself from ascending. You just hurt your bloodline. If you can even have children anymore now. You even made it easier for you to be possessed. Maybe to the point to where now these other entities might literally kick your conscience out all the way, or you just going to be asleep in the back of your mind and you're not going to be in the forefront and they're going to take over. You just crucified and messed yourself up. You just imprisoned yourself within your own body. Now you also remember the 400 years of silence. There was no actual 400 years of silence. Now it was silent to the majority of people because the majority of people were NPCs, or even the majority of the people who were truly ascended spiritual being. They were so ignorant and didn't want to learn nothing no way. So it was quiet because they didn't know the Most High. But the Most High was talking to the Most High. Best believe there were people during that time who the Most High was talking to. Because these people understood. They knew who they were. And they were probably, during this time, remember, like what do they call the Dark Age? A lot of them were probably killed, burned alive. Because they was going around talking about the Most High said this. And people getting mad at them and literally burning them to the stake. Doing all types of stuff to them. Because they can't understand what they talking about, because they sleep, because they shut themselves off to the truth, to the Creator. In that movie, His Dark Material, that's what it's talking about, family. But it's already done. What the movie say it would, it might even be almost 80% of them who got it now. Might be 80% of the population. I haven't checked the numbers lately. But let's hope. Well, I'm not even gonna say that. I don't even care. I'm explaining. Look, they separating the flesh from your spiritual self, so you cannot have that symbiotic relationship to where the spirit and the flesh, your higher self, your spiritual self, your alien self, or so-called alien self, your angel self that came down from the ether, or from the fire of the Most High, the higher spiritual, the higher spirit, the over spirit. Remember, because I told you that you are taken from the essence, right? So now that you got that thing, if you got it, it's now going to, it's either, like I said, it's imprisoning in your body, or it's imprisoning your body and slowly separating you, your, or if you want to call it your Christ mind, your Christos mind, or your Husha mind, whatever. It's slowly separating your Christ mind from your avatar until you become until I guess you're buried deep into the subconscious, and then either you're gonna be like that girl, you're just gonna be like a dead avatar, or like a dumb avatar, or one of our spiritual brothers and sisters who came down Lucifer is gonna eventually come around and basically body snatch you, take your body. And I also say this, family, because with everything that's going down, remember when the earth, during those 400 years of silence, when people are silent to the truth of the Creator, family, they go crazy. They do horrible things. They hurt each other. So, family, I need you to understand this. Look, this ain't me trying to start something and be like, look, stay away from people with the thing and start treating them bad, because to be honest, honestly, for your say, look, this ain't saying grovel to nobody. It's just saying, once again, be a passerby. Limit your time around them. Don't be doing business unless the Most High really tells you to do business with them or something. You have to be careful, family, because with these people, you have to understand there is no truth in them anymore. They act purely off flesh. In other words, if you trying to speak to them about the Most High, about the truth, about getting delivered, they can snap on you and take your life. Because they hate that. Because the spirit that now possesses them don't want to hear that. So I need you guys to understand this. This is what I'm saying. Things are going to get, this is why I keep saying things are going to get worse, family. And this is why I say when they get worse, you're going to have to leave. People have to leave the cities. Because the majority of the people in the cities are going to be the people with that thing, if they haven't perished. And I promise you, family, they gonna be vile. Matter of fact, they gonna be chased. Look, family, I'm not even gonna say all that. All I'm gonna say, look, and matter of fact, I'm not gonna say that all the way. Cause what I'm gonna say is things always get worse before they get better. That's just how life works. So best believe in the end of the day, family, look, enemy hasn't won. Even though they might think they won, remember, we're spirit first. We come from the spirit. Don't fear he who can destroy the flesh, but fear he who can destroy the spirit. But even then, family, that's why I don't think these things kill a spirit. So I don't want to say that this thing, and I didn't say that, but some people might, because you can't destroy energy, it just dissipates or it spreads out. But your true self, I'm pretty sure if you don't get imprisoned in your body, you probably just go back home. But then there might be, honestly, if you get that, who knows? Maybe your body, whether you realize it or not, maybe your spirit really does leave the body. The true you. You just don't know it. Because, like me, I can't, it's almost like I couldn't imagine now. This is why we have to come to an understanding that we are truly spiritual beings, family. Because when you truly understand that you're a spiritual being, then you start to understand the symbiotic cohesion and true integration of the spirit with this flesh, to where it's almost like you can't imagine one without the other. But when you truly understand that you are a spirit, and matter of fact, family, I've given this example before. Remember I told you the spirit was asked me one day, it was like, where are you at right now within your body? Do you see your body from your fingers? Do you see your body from your toes? When you walk, do you see your body from your knees? Where do you experience life from? Where are you at? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm in my head. I'm in my head. So when you understand that and truly continue to meditate on that and seek that understanding and knowledge, then you can start to understand the separation from spirit and body. You can understand, you can imagine yourself being able to leave the body. You guys remember the TV shows and movies where you've seen people that passed away from like a car accident or something, right? And then it'll show the spirit looking at the ambulance coming, and they're like, look, I'm good, don't worry, I'm not dead. And then the people come out the ambulance, or the people running by, and they run right past, like, do you not hear me talk to you? I'm fine. And the person's like, what's going on? And they look and they see their body, and they're like, oh, honestly, family too, how do you know people who got this? Especially those, well, how do you know people that got this? I'm not talking about the NPCs. The NPCs, yeah. But how do you know the people, the elect? Remember, it said even the elect be full, right? How do you know when they have gotten this shot? How do you know that night they went to sleep, their spirits did just flow out of their body? And there was an entity waiting there to go right inside of them afterwards. So you go home and go to sleep, lay down in bed, after you done got the thing that day, and then as you asleep, remember, you know how people say when you go to sleep, your body, your spiritual self actually travels and goes to other worlds? How do you know, like, for instance, let's say you had a brother or a sister or a mother who got the shot. And that day, they came home not thinking nothing. And then they went to sleep that night in their spirit. And next thing you know, their spirit is hanging over their body at night. And nobody can see them. Nobody knows anything. But they gone. Like, your family member is gone. And now your family's body is literally inhabited by another entity. Now, this ain't people telling nobody going, because I don't know. Like what I said, I'm not sure. This one thing, like either they're imprisoned inside of the body and they've been pushed back to the very back of the consciousness, or their spirit literally has floated out and they're gone. And now the body is either an empty shell, or most likely it's inhabited by one of our, because remember it said 2/3. More of our brothers and sisters decided not to come down than who decided to go through it. So best believe there's not going to be no shortage of spirits wanting your body. Matter of fact, what's that scary movie about the people who, remember the couple, the paranormal couple, they go around to people's houses and said they had ghosts. And there was and I forget what movie where the boy left his body and went to the spiritual realm, and then one of the spirits came and possessed his body. I forget what it's called. Put it in the, somebody put it in the comment section who can remember what it is. I can't remember. But that's a good example of that right there. What else, family? I know I've been talking for a minute, but I need to get this out. because I want to explain this. But yeah, that was a video. Oh, so oh yeah, I already explained the three laws, the iRobot Part 2, where we couldn't hurt each other. But now that you got this thing, look, like I say, if you were an elect and you let them get that in you, and like I said, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the process is gonna take a lot longer than you know. Maybe you don't get pushed in the back of your conscience, or you don't just float out of your body into the dream world, right? Either way, your protection is gone now, because you can no longer hear, and you've told the Most High that you don't believe in the Most High, you don't want the Most High's protection, you don't want nothing to do, you've chosen Satan. Or let's just say Satan now, let's say Satan is the flesh. This is where you guys remember that word live, and you know how people say live in evil? It is evil to live. Do not love your life unto death. Now that don't mean, family, don't go feed yourself. That's not, don't take this the wrong way. Oh, you saying I'm evil because, no. What it's saying is, this is the difference. It's evil to live that you'll be willing to, let's say you're in a situation and basically there's four of you, and someone says, look, one of you can live and I'm going to give you all this money, but I'm going to take out three of you. But the only way one of you can live is you have to sit here and give me the secret code to this vault. And if none of you do, you all die. But if one of you gives it to me, I'll let you live and I'll give you some of the money. Right? So basically, hold on, family. Hey, Ma. Okay. Yeah, everything fine. I was just checking on you, see if it's the airport. But all right, I'll call you in a minute. Okay. All right, bye. So basically, family, what I'm saying is, if you have the protection of the Most High before that, if you didn't have the thing in you, let's say in that situation, police might show up, maybe one of them have a heart attack, something is gonna come save at least you, especially if you, let's say three of your friends are NPCs, and whether you realize that you are a higher form or not, you would at least be safe. Something would save you, not because you have to snitch again, but something will come in to intervene, to save you. But now that you got that thing in you, you're done. You ain't got no protection no more. Whether it be from your so-called NPC friends, because let's be honest, family, people use this once. I said people use that friend word too much. Most people just acquaintances. So what's it called? Yeah. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Look, family, that's about it. I just want to put that in. I think I don't want to keep going because I don't want to. Sometimes you do have to learn. It's like the mess. Okay, it's like the message came out. I think they got it. You don't want to overdo it. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here, family. So without further ado, family, I appreciate y'all. I enjoyed y'all. I'm a wise, wealthy, rich, celestial being in love by the Most High Creator. I'll catch y'all later, family. Be blessed.